good young coach from what I hear from my friends in the Northeast.
Of course, when you play at St. Joe's, you can recruit Philadelphia. And Stewart, a Philly native, he rims out the second free throw, but Ryder grabs the early lead.
Nice set play by Ryder to start this game versus the staple defense, man-to-man, hard pressure on the ball by the Gamecocks.
Gamecocks shot 50% in that win over Morgan State, but they allowed 52%. Lakeem Jackson in the post. Very good with his left hand, and he flips it up and in.
You know, without a true center on this team, Andy, there might be your best low post player for South Carolina. Lakeem Jackson, he also has the great right hand close to the basket.
6'5", but he uses his body well, 235 pounds. Jonathan Thompson blows by Williams, gets to the rim, doesn't fall, but the stick in does get in. Junior Fortunato, their 6'9" sophomore.
Ryder out in a full court, 1-2-1-1 full court press, trapping the first pass, now sprinting back, picking up. Straight man.
Lachey Page, the three. Almost gets the roll. And that ball ripped away to the Bronx. And a block the other way on Brenton Williams. Williams, the junior from Kissimmee, Florida, averaging 14 points per game this early season. Frank Martin going with a smaller lineup. Carrera 6'5", Williams 5'11".
Well, he really doesn't have much of a choice. Not much size on this South Carolina basketball team. Last possession beat off the dribble. We talked about that in the Morgan State game, as again the Gamecocks really pressure the ball, and I think it's at points over pressure to beat off the dribble. The help is late coming across to draw the charge.
Foul on Jackson. And Jonathan Thompson, the senior from Orlando, Florida, heads to the line. Ryder's a team, they will dribble drive, they will dribble drive, and when that doesn't work, they'll dribble drive some more. They iron unkind on that free throw. Frank Martin has liked his team's effort, just not his execution that stretches this 2-0 start.
When Frank Martin sits down on that bench, he thinks they're going to win every game, and he's demanding the effort and the intensity level to see that comes to be.
Early 4-2 Ryder lead.
Gamecocks almost 2 turnovers for every assist. I think Ryder's doing a smart thing here, pressing an error-prone basketball team.
And they won by 16 against Morgan State, but they popped it up 20 times. Ryder has had some ball protection issues of their own. They beat Monmouth Saturday, but turned it over 28 times as Smith pure on the mid-range jumper. Lindsey going coast to coast. Over the rim, Williams the rebound. Lindsey will be in attack mode all game long. Jackson back out to Page for a spot up 3. Gamecocks lead.
Nice pass by Lakeem Jackson. Most guys force a shot close to the basket. He knew he didn't have great control, so he kicked it out to the open shooter, Page.
He struggled from 3 this early going, just 2 for 12 coming in. Miles, leaping leaner, doesn't get the roll. Page scraps out the rebound. Lachey Page is one of those guys who'll give you whatever you need whenever you need it. Playing his senior season after a solid career at Southern Miss. Played versus Frank Martin's Kansas State team in the second round of the NCAA tournament last year. Williams behind the screen, no good on the 3. Reach on Page. Interesting about Lindsey's game, he's right-handed, but he loves to go to his left.
Well, that's not that unusual, perhaps, with most players, with some players, excuse me. Most righties do like to go right. If they do go left, they pretty much pull up and shoot jumpers. Drive to the strong hand, pull up going to the weak hand, and that's a bad turnover there on the side out-of-bounds play.
Lindsey was wary of the over and back violation. For a team that turned it over 28 times on Saturday, that's not the kind of giveaway that Kevin Baggett wants.
You talk about defensive play here. We have a team in Rider University that's holding their opponents to 33% from the field, only 19% from 3 versus this basketball team. As you see, good denial of the reversal pass there by Miles. teams only scoring 56.7 points per game versus this Rider team. Sound defensively.
You mentioned opponents 19% from three, and that's 14th in the nation right now. South Carolina has not exactly been singeing the net from three as Lindsey plows over Page, but they'll call the block on Lachey Page. That's a big second foul early on the Gamecock senior.
Well, here you see the drive again off the dribble. Page, good call, slides his body, didn't have his feet set. Gamecocks already with 5 team fouls in 3.5 minutes. Way too much fouling going on by the Gamecocks.
Catch down deep off the inbound, and the roll good for Daniel Stewart, the junior from Philly.
Great execution on the out-of-bounds play. That also shows you South Carolina without any shot blockers around the rim.
Shea Page now has Brian Richardson in his place, the 6'4 junior. West had a solid start to his season, 8 points a game. Page has led the Gamecocks in scoring each of the first two. A bounce from Casinas to Slauson, but has it spiked off the glass by Fortunat. Here come the Bronx. But Miles has it deflected out on the way up. Now, referee calls it out of bounds to Ryder, but Frank Martin pretty candid that Miles simply lost it on the way up. See some great defense around the rim from the Bronx. Gamecocks, though, have the early lead.
Oh, right, yeah, you can see a really good high-low pass here. Right, yeah, you can see it right there. You can take it, you can start from the pass before. Yeah. Right there, yeah, right there is Casinas. Yeah, Smith to the top of the key to Casinas. And the great high-low bounce pass from Casinas into Slauson, but Fortunat with a tremendous defensive block. Good offense, good defense. Yep. We could draw it or we could just talk through it. I don't care. Let's talk through it. We'll just talk through it. Okay. Right.
Gamecocks lead 7-6. Some execution in the half court by the Gamecocks. Just couldn't cash it.
Yeah, great execution. The high-low. Smith reverses the ball to Casinas at the top of the key. And the high-low look. Great bounce pass, feeding pass into Slauson. But Fortunat's better defense. A terrific block by the big fella. And sometimes the defense can be better than the good offense. And that was the case on that particular possession.
Fortunat's a leaper. He's out of Montreal, Quebec.
Quick jumper there, Andy. Quick off his feet. Didn't have to gather. Excellent reaction.
The big story for South Carolina, Lachey Page picked up his second foul around the 16.5-minute mark. Maybe the Gamecocks' best pure scorers, and the question becomes, where do they find their offense?
Well, now they're down to 7 players, 2 in their rotation. They cannot afford another foul problem, and fatigue could become a factor as well.
Thompson kills his dribble on Richardson, tries to arch it up, but he pushed off. Offensive foul. Senior Jonathan Thompson collects his first.
Here's the full court press. It's a 1-2-1-1 full court zone press. They'll trap corners whenever possible. Of course, this is good to do early in the season. Many times teams are not prepared for pressing teams early in the year.
Richardson bangs down the triple. Third three-pointer in 4 attempts this year by the junior Brian Richardson.
Now that's good press offense. They hit the middle, they pass the ball up the court and make the press pay.
The Ryder rebound underneath Lindsey as it jarred loose. It'll go to the Gamecocks.
Press offense. Ball goes to the middle of Smith. You look for the post up the sideline, back to Smith to the middle, the pitch ahead, and the pressing team gets caught in transition defense. Excellent ball movement, press offense by the Gamecocks.
On that last scrum at the end of the play, Lindsey picks up a technical foul. Evan Baggett's 16 points a game scorer. It'll be a couple of freebies for the Gamecocks. Lindsey from Philadelphia began his career at Community College, was highly coveted out of Redlands Community College in Oklahoma. Played 11 games last year for Steve Lavin at St. John's, then transferred. Usually, and he enrolled at Rider at mid-semester. Normally, he'd have to wait until the end of fall semester to be eligible. They appealed to have him be waived immediately to play. Initially, it was denied. They learned 1 week before preseason camp he was a full go. Cassinas in low. Another press break results in a bucket.
Press break, ball never hit the court. Boom, 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 layup. Well done.
Makes it a 12-2 Gamecock run. They're looking for more. Cassinas the lead feed to Richardson and a foul call.
Well, you gotta like the skill level of Cassinas. 6'7", Lithuanian. Typically, the Lithuanians know how to play the game. Good skills, good savvy. Excellent pass as he looks up the court. The deflection, hands, the deflection, under control, the bounce pass, feeding pass. I love bounce passes to guys cutting to the basket. Easier to handle, to take it to the hoop.
That was the second foul on Jonathan Thompson. He'll sub out. Zedric Sadler, freshman from Detroit, Michigan, takes his place. Now a double-digit Gamecock lead. Gamecocks have made all 4 of their free throws, and while it's very, very early this season, that's something they've done with regularity. 82% at the line through 2 games. And that's second in the nation right now. A deep 3 down the well. Anthony Miles stops the dry spell. Gamecocks attacking again. Jackson at the rim, the twist and finish.
Well, if Fortunat's not around the basket for Ryder, no size for the Bronx. Gamecocks can attack the basket inside.
The walk on Sadler. 5th Ryder turnover.
Yeah, Lakeem Jackson's a darn good basketball player. Doesn't shoot it well, but outside of that, you can see the ability to take it to the basket, turn, score. He's got the right, got the left. He defends. He's a very good passer. He competes. He's a senior. You got to love Jackson.
You know, we've seen him now for 3 years, and he's almost more comfortable finishing with his right hand than his natural left. And pass cross court, but the Gamecocks regather. Smith will tee up the 3. Lindsey the rebound.
See, to me, with Eric Smith, he plays a lot of minutes. He gets tired. Sometimes tired players should pass it more than shoot it. That's a tough shot, considering he's a tired player right now.
Sadler gets the roll on the laner. 18-11 Gamecocks. Ryder continuing to go strong to the basket.
Getting back to Smith, Andy, the problem is South Carolina really doesn't have a backup point guard. They do, but he's playing football. A guy named Ellington who's had a heck of a year on the gridiron.
It bounces across to Jackson. That one doesn't fall. Ball to Ryder. Say Cassinas touched it last. Frank Martin very adamant with his team, though they are undersized, about getting into the paint.
Straight man-to-man, no switching, accountability.
And offensive foul. Jackson had the feet set outside the semicircle. Daniel Stewart collects his first. Team's second leading scorer and leading rebounder.
What I mean by no switching and accountability, Andy, is switching sometimes is an easy way out for a defensive player or 2 players to switch. It's easier to do it. Personally, I think switching is a good way to go at times. As the Gamecocks turn it over versus the press, and you can see Lindsey's athleticism. But Frank doesn't believe in switching. There's no easy way out when you play for Frank Martin.
either for his own players or for the other team. Williams an open triple.
Well, I really like what South Carolina's doing versus the press. They're not content just to get it over half court and back out. They are attacking it once they go through the press and making the pressing team pay for gambling.
You can break that press off and gives you numbers. Miles on Williams lays it in. Anthony Miles has 5.
And I guarantee you when Coach Martin and his staff watch that play, he's going to want to know where the help was.
Richardson has an open look. That 3 doesn't fall. Stewart the rebound. Daniel Stewart, team's leading rebounder. And here comes Lindsey. A fadeaway over Smith. Jackson the rebound. Lindsey, as we told you, from Philadelphia, Overbrook High School. And he didn't play his senior year at Overbrook, but averaged about 35 points a game as a sophomore and junior. Had he stayed around for his senior year, he could have threatened Wilt Chamberlain's scoring record at Overbrook. How about that dish from Richardson to Casinas?
An excellent pass by Brian Richardson. Casinas holding off in low. High-low look. Anytime a player gets the ball at the top of the key, his first look is to a low-post player. If he's there, great, give it to him. If not, you want to reverse the ball and move your offense. Richardson, excellent high-low look. Good hold-off by Casinas inside. Excellent execution. To me, Brian Richardson is somebody with a lot of upside. He needs to guard better, get a little tougher, but he can shoot the ball. He can pass the ball. He's a good basketball player. As Coach Martin's making his point to Brenton Williams there. And my guess it would be about being the help guy on that last drive to the basket. I'll tell you what, though, Brenton Williams, you could tell him anything. You could read him the riot act. He looks you dead in the eye, doesn't say boo, and goes out and tries to do what you want him to do. I really like Brenton Williams. He's done a very good job here in a year and a half.
And the word Frank Martin used to describe Williams, at least offensively, and you can tell this applies to his entire game, is fearless. Season opener against Milwaukee, he had 2 points in 10 minutes of regulation. Had to come on because Eric Smith experienced some cramping in the overtime, and he poured in 12 points, a perfect 8 of 8 at the free throw line. Responded in game 2 with 14 points. Slauson draws the foul, and it takes us to a timeout. Gamecocks the 8-point lead over Rider in the first. That's good. That's really good. I want to see what score was when. The score when Page got his second foul. 16:26 is when he got it. So it was no, it was 7-4. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so they're plus 5. Okay. Okay. South Carolina's jumped to an 8-point lead over Rider here in the first half. Bronx head coach Kevin Baggett told us at shoot-around today he cautioned his team they would have not faced pressure on the ball in their first 3 games like the one that Frank Martin's team would throw at them tonight. So far, he's holding true to his words. Look at that, 6 forced turnovers, block, steal.
Page back in the game with 2 fouls. Interesting substitution by the Gamecock coaching staff.
Bounce feed nearly goes awry, but saved by the Bronx. That's Page out along the far wing. Get a screen set for Thompson. The shot clock at 4. Pounds it inside. It spins out. And Slauson climbs over the top for the rebound. That's what you're going to get from Ryder, is a heavy dose of trying to jump gaps, drive the lane.
Right, now you're going to get a heavy dose of 2-3 zone. First possession of zone. Gamecocks shooting 8 of 14 from the field. Switch of the defensive philosophy here by Ryder.
And produces a turnover. Slauson double dribbled.
Of course, if you look at the Gamecocks shooting from 3, only 22% so far this year. The outstanding free throw shooting team, not shooting well from 3. You would think zone might be something you want to try.
Turnover. It's Richardson. A foot race, but a block by Miles Jackson to clean it up.
Well, there's an example. You never give up on a play. Even though you think Richardson might have a layup, you continue to run hard to the basket, and who knows what can happen. And Hakeem Jackson gets the bucket.
Williams the run-out rebound. He'll attack on Miles. Sneaking through, and he'll draw the foul.
Well, busting through the screen, you can see Brian Richardson gets in the passing lane. Doesn't take it very strong to the basket, but Hakeem Jackson never give up on a play. You always follow a driving teammate to the basket. The 5th man down the court, however, must stop for defensive balance. Everybody else should be rushing to the basket, and Hakeem Jackson there to follow through.
Jackson's been padding his stat line early. He's got 6 points, 3 rebounds, a couple of assists.
And here's a guy at the line's about automatic. He's a heck of a free throw shooter. Great short stroke.
Yeah, Brenton Williams, 13 of 13 at the free throw line this year. And in fact, he has made his last 18 free throws since last year. He pushes this Gamecock lead to their largest at 12.
I really like what Frank Martin did as the pressure on the ball causes the turnover. We got a TV timeout, so he takes out Eric Smith. He gets him the TV timeout. He brings Page back for another minute and a half. Now Smith back in for Page, who has 2 fouls, and he gets the extra rest time for his only true point guard, Eric Smith.
You know all about that clock management. That's so important, especially with the short bench, knowing when you can buy some rest. Smith clearly showing that rest was well warranted as he finishes. An 11-2 Gamecock run.
The Bronx, no inside scoring here. Everything's off the dribble from perimeter players, having a hard time scoring the ball around the basket.
Now that is Smith's 2nd foul. It's also the team's 7th, which puts Ryder in the bonus. 9:20 to play in the first half.
Well, that's 17 fouls in 11 minutes, a little over 11 minutes, Andy. About 11 minutes. My philosophy when I was coaching was you never want to give up the 7th foul until there's 5 or less minutes in a half. You want to try to play the first 15 minutes of each half with 6 or less team fouls. Free throw shooting is huge. If you can get to the foul line every possession on the offensive end of the court, you would win every game from an offensive efficiency standpoint. Plus, you'd foul out the other team, probably everybody.
Cedric Sadler makes them both. They'll get swapped out for Lindsey. It seems Ryder's style is geared towards generating a lot of fouls because they slash, because they move the ball quickly and drive so hard.
Right. Well, guarding your dribble is tough. And at some point, though, I think you back the pressure off a little bit. 2-3 zone now by Ryder. Let's see how South Carolina attacks this. Typically, you want to get it to the middle of the zone, look low, weak side. You want to drive gaps and pitch weak side. Nice high post feed.
Lawson trying to chase down the rebound, and he deflects it off Ndi Azuma. A hustle by Slauson, keeping it on the Gamecocks end.
Nice possession versus the zone. They hit it to Slauson at the elbow, right off the foul line area. Weak side to Eric Smith.
Now the ball right back to the Bronx. It's on Slauson. R.J. Slauson's second.
Well, at some point here, they're going to have to stop fouling, Andy, with an 8-man team and not a deep bench. A lot of guys picking up fouls that are unnecessary, quite frankly. That's an unnecessary foul by Slauson.
Lindsey slicing through and another foul. And this is a South Carolina team that doesn't have much depth to begin with. Michael Carrera, as we told you, missing a second straight game, has still not been medically cleared from a concussion he suffered in practice last Wednesday. Laimonas Hakevicic, so you see just off of Carrera's shoulder, another freshman, 6'11", serving a 6-game NCAA-ordered suspension for some impermissible benefits with his host family. Their big 6'10" redshirt sophomore Carlton Gathers is rehabbing from a knee injury over the summer. He's not available until January.
Nice stroke here by Lindsey. You can see that he can shoot the basketball.
Misses that one, but might not surprise you then to learn his nickname in high school was Too Easy. Trap on Richardson. He is in a bad spot. They'll get the jump ball tie-up, but the arrow keeps it to South Carolina. Brings Damian Leonard in for Richardson.
Gamecocks very small here now. Casina 6'7", probably the 5-man. Lakeem Jackson 6'5", the 4-man. The Bronx actually a bigger basketball team now on the court.
That pass thrown away right through Leonard's hands. Still an 11-point Gamecock lead, but you sense an opportunity for the Bronx to pounce.
A lot of time left, absolutely, here. South Carolina now in its zone with all the foul trouble. Gamecocks gone zone, trying to keep players from fouling. Excellent ball movement here by Ryder.
Thompson rises, can't cash in on the baseline jumper. Frank Martin, zone is not his preference, to say the least. Leonard's open for a triple. Good ball rotation. And the Gamecocks push the lead to 14.
That play right there, Andy, wins basketball games. The extra pass to the open shooter, that's a winning play.
The Gamecocks were only shooting 22% from three coming in, but they've made 4 of their first 9. Tommy Pereira, junior from England, new in the game for Ryder. He'll take the pass from Lindsey. An open 3 from Thompson, and he has the answer. Well,
touche. That's excellent ball movement by Ryder University, making the extra pass. Good basketball being played here the last 2 possessions.
Thompson's the guy you got to keep a spy on. Led the Metro Atlantic in three-point percentage last year. Turnover, leading to transition, leading to a Ryder basket and Lindsey. 8-point Gamecock lead, but Frank Martin doesn't like what he sees. He'll call timeout. That's what you kind of get with Frank Martin.
What you see is what you get. It's not personal. It's about getting you better. You can see Eric Smith penetrating. Another penetration by Brenton Williams. It sucks the defense in. The extra pass by Brenton Williams. Great ball movement. And watch the ball movement by the Broncos. Boom, boom, boom. Right around the horn to the open shooter Thompson for an easy 3. Now that's good basketball. I like watching that kind of play.
Right now, the Gamecocks, though, have the edge on the strength of 57% field goal shooting. This was not a good shooting team a year ago. And it's a team where you get the sense that they're going to have balanced scoring to be successful. Going to need it.
Absolutely. Both these teams have to do that. There's nobody really. Lindsey perhaps can get it really going and maybe put up some huge numbers. But for the Gamecocks, it's going to have to be by committee, and the committee could change each and every game. See, this style is really good for Ryder. It's a full court press to a zone, full court press to a man, three-quarter court press to a zone, three-quarter court press to a man.
Leonard, a second straight three.
And what I mean, early in the season, you don't see that type of style of play, which is difficult for teams who haven't had a lot of practice and a new coach.
Pereira loves the three, long there, and Jackson the run-out rebound. Smith, all day, all night, but not another three. They'll call the push-off underneath on Lakeem Jackson. And that's another Gamecock with his second foul. 6:13 to play. Gamecocks the 12-point lead. Yep. Yeah. You got it. No? Yep. South Carolina 35, Ryder 23. Of course, a very exciting week in the state of South Carolina. And here on the South Carolina campus, it is rivalry week. South Carolina facing Clemson in football Saturday. And one of the big events here on campus, the Tiger Burn. Took place about an hour ago across from Colonial Life Arena. The big paper tiger going down in flames. And Steve Spurrier's team hoping to do the same on Saturday against Clemson Tigers. I know you have more than a passing familiarity with that rivalry. Well,
it's a great rivalry, and that will be one heck of a football game at Clemson on Saturday. And how about last Saturday, college football? Kansas State gets beat, Oregon gets beat. People talk about the SEC maybe out of a national championship picture, but now they're right back in it, particularly with Alabama and Georgia. That's why you play the games. You never know what's going to happen.
Free throw good by Stewart. Now, do you like going to the BCS playoff in 2 years?
I think so. I think the playoff system's a fairer system than what we've had in place so far.
Trying to mimic to a much smaller degree when you have in March Madness. That national semifinal. Leonard, 2 threes. Can't get a third. Trying to follow his own miss. Saves it inbounds, but to the Bronx Milers. Ward now running the floor. Can't haul it in. Out of bounds. Gamecocks.
That's a tough catch right there. Nice pitch ahead here. Jackson back to Lachey Page for the three.
Foul trouble mounting, as you can see. Jackson, 3. Page, Smith, and Slauson each have a pair.
Now this is a different press than Ryder opened the game with. That's a three-quarter, much softer press than the full court press. Slowing it down, making South Carolina take time off the clock to get a shot. If it controls tempo, 2-2-1 back to zone, really controls the tempo from the defensive team.
Leonard puts it on the floor. Smith out to Williams. He'll float in. Gamecock ball.
See right there, Andy, that shot was up with 3 seconds on the 35-second shot clock. Took South Carolina 32 seconds. They got a pretty good shot, but again, it's this defense will slow it down. It'll keep the game at a much lower score.
Oh, Casinas, the alley-oop off the inbound, can't finish, comes down with it, and he gets fouled. Team foul number 6 on the Bronx.
Well, this is an example, to me, this shouldn't happen. You can never let a big guy just go right to the hoop, out of bounds, underneath. Anytime the ball's out of bounds underneath, you got to collapse your defense. And there they give up an easy one right there. Guards are way too spread. The guard should be back in the lane. 5 guys pretty much in the 3-second lane, protecting the basket, making the first pass go back way out.
As Kevin Baggett was displeased with the first inbound, and slightly more displeased with the results on the second. And Mindaugas Casinas, the freshman from Lithuania, makes it a 12-point lead again. The lefty Miles strokes his second 3 of the night.
Well, they really moved the ball nicely versus the zone, does Rider University. Soft press, just trying to see if they can create a turnover. That would be an unforced turnover by South Carolina. Now, already it's 20 seconds left on the clock, 15 seconds taken off this possession.
Smith slips the screen into the corner for Leonard. Lawson the rebound. To it, cutting Leonard. And now a technical foul has been called away from the ball on head coach Kevin Baggett of the Bronx. This was as the play was ongoing. So the second technical charge to Rider tonight, in addition to his guard, Nurideen Lindsey, and the first-year head coach of the Bronx. Now we'll join him.
There's a big difference when you slide over one chair on that bench from assistant coach to head coach. I'll tell you what, not only you make more money, but you have a lot more pressure on you. Trying to make a point, trying to fight for his team is Kevin over there for Rider.
Smith no good on the first of 2. Baggett began his coaching career as an assistant at Coastal Carolina. We told you he spent the last 6 years in Lawrenceville. At Rider University, 4 as an assistant, 2 as the associate head coach. When Tommy Dempsey, to the surprise of many, took the Binghamton job, and this was well past the normal window of coaching comings and goings late May. They elevated Baggett to the top spot. He said when that calendar turned to May, had no idea when it turned to June he'd be the head coach.
Well, typically, the later a coaching change happens, the better opportunity for an assistant coach to get the position. Tommy Dempsey did a great job at Rider in his stay there.
To Binghamton, tripled his salary, also a Scranton native, so it moves him closer to home. Great opportunity for Baggett. 7 under 35. Leonard called for steps.
A good zone right there.
Gamecocks still lead by 9. First half here in Columbia. Sure. Okay. All right. War Cranberry. War Cranberry. Okay. Gamecocks have led for most of the first half. The lead is at 9, 3:47 to play. Let's learn more about the Rider Broncs. Lawrenceville, New Jersey, the site of their campus, about a half hour outside of Philadelphia. They compete in the Metro Atlantic, which was won by Loyola. Here's the interesting part to me. The school was named for Andrew J. Ryder, who was the cranberry king of North Carolina. He owned a lot of cranberry bogs in that region. He introduced the cranberry to Europe, apparently. So no surprise, their colors are cranberry and white. War cranberry. So I guess when you're passing the cranberries around at Thanksgiving this week, you can thank Andrew J. Ryder.
Lawrenceville, I believe, over by the Princeton area of New Jersey. Beautiful area of the state.
They have produced some good coaches, some exceptional coaches over the years, and some good players. Jason Thompson, number 12 overall draft pick in 2008, playing for the Sacramento Kings.
That's where you want it. High post, weak side. Now you got to drive it and pitch it. Good pressure on the ball by this zone. Not a typical laid-back 2-3 zone. Trying to put some pressure on it, making the passes more difficult.
Long three by Williams off the mark. Back tap by Casinas, though. Another triple by Leonard. His threes beginning to not fall, but offensive rebounds have been the Gamecocks' best friend. Lindsey on Leonard. Leonard gets a block, but a foul. That'll be Williams' second.
Yeah, the other thing, Andy, here is we see Casinas throwing it across to the top of the key, and Lindsey just reading it. He was waiting on it. That was a sucker's pass. He just was hoping that ball would be thrown. You know, South Carolina being a man-to-man team, pretty much in practice is working against man-to-man. They don't see much zone, and I think as the season goes on, you'll see their zone offense become more effective. It's very early in the year. Again, presses you don't have a chance to work on a whole lot. Zone offense is typically behind man-to-man offense. So this is a style of play early in the season that's pretty effective, I think.
Lindsey's second is good. Yeah, the Gamecocks faced a lot of zone last year because of their struggles from the field.
Now, I would gather if somebody played a box and one here tonight, as either coach worked in a box and one.
Offensive foul, Leonard trying to maintain the possession against a pair of Broncs. Leonard was in no man's land. A chance for Ryder with 2:45 remaining to make a dent in this lead.
The double team here, the ball gets deflected, and I guess they call the push off with the hand by Leonard. Leonard not strong enough with his basketball. The other thing here in 3 games, you know, Coach Martin very animated. He does not argue calls very much. Very easy for the officials. Has a lot of respect for the way the game is officiated, and it doesn't say a whole lot to them during the game.
Pereira lines up the triple. Tommy Pereira cuts it to a 4-point Gamecock lead. Pereira, you know he's going to do one thing. That makes 27 of 29 career field goals from behind the arc. Casinas underneath, the catch and lay-in. And a dead ball substitution here.
Of course, Page still on the bench, and he will stay there till the end of this half with the 2 fouls. Gamecock coaching staff trying to manage their foul trouble.
An offensive foul, Lindsey dribbling on Williams. Lindsey's second.
There's 2 feisty guys going at it right there now. That would be a heck of a one-on-one game out in the schoolyard.
Oh, yeah. What have you thought of Lindsey's game so far?
Athletic, quick, you know, a little disappointed in the technical foul. There's the high post weak side. They got to drive it some. Right there.
Slauson looking for the jam, but he'll take a foul instead.
Need to see more on Lindsey. Certainly athletic. It looks like he can shoot it. I mean, the stats don't lie. What he did at St. John's last year in the fall semester, you can't fake that. You gotta be a player to do what he did. So that's a great get for Ryder.
He's thought of as one of the more high-impact transfers to the mid-majors in college basketball this year.
Well, his other school that he almost went to was Arkansas.
Yeah,
that was second choice, and for a while there, most people thought he would go to Fayetteville and be a Razorback.
Large part because of his proximity to where he played JUCO ball in Oklahoma. Lindsey began his career, like you said, at St. John's. Pereira, another three. Smith gathers the board. Inside of 2 minutes in the first half. It's lost in the foul line. Jumper doesn't get the roll. Fortunat, pump fake, draws Slauson in the air. They'll cram it down.
We'll give Ryder credit. They were down double digits. They've worked their way back in this game. Nice change of defense by the coaching staff, and you got to give a lot of credit to the first-year head coach, Kevin Baggett.
Williams, a very good three-point shooter, and he strokes it. Gamecocks 6 3-pointers in this first half, and the lead back to 9. Thompson jams around Slauson. Slauson looking for the block from behind. They're going to call that foul on Casinas.
Inside out, Slauson, nice pass cross court. Easy, good look for the Gamecocks.
How have you thought South Carolina's handled the zone? You said something that they haven't often practiced against because they're such a predominant man defensive team.
Well, I think they've made some nice plays against it. I think, they've gone weak side, high post, low weak side. They haven't driven it enough and pitched it. I think one of the things that affects the Gamecocks is their lack of depth. I think fatigue's a big part of turnovers many times, and particularly for Eric Smith. They got to figure out a way here until they get Ellington back to get him a break, because it's putting a lot of stress and pressure on Smith to handle, and then he gets open shots. He's tired. He's done a very good job. They got to figure out a way to get a backup point guard developed.
Backup point guard, at least alternate point guard right now, is Lachey Page, but he's been on the bench for most of this half with fouls.
And he's really not a point. He's more of a two.
This is Brent Williams, who has the ball now. Quick whip around the arc. Richardson running baseline. Tries to feather it inside to Slauson, but off his hands. Shot clock is off in this first half. Ryder bidding to make it a 5, maybe a 4-point deficit. They'll let Miles go to work. Anthony Miles into the paint, steps through. No on the finger roll. That'll be the end of the first half in Columbia. Gamecocks weathered a whole bunch of fouls. And they'll take a 7-point lead into the locker room over the Ryder Broncs. Led by as many as 14, they'll settle for half that at halftime. Glad you're with us on this Monday night in Columbia. Frank Martin looking to start his Gamecock career 3-0. Halfway to accomplishing that. I'll take a water. Water, please. Thank you. Okay.
Okay. Absolutely not. Thanks for asking.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Yes. Tell you what. Try to make it 4-0. That's okay. Oh, thank you. Okay. Frank Martin of the Gamecocks has staked to a 44-37 lead at halftime. First of 4 games in 7 days for South Carolina this week. And after Thanksgiving, we go right back to the grindstone. Coming up on Fox Sports South, they'll entertain the Jacksonville Dolphins December 7th. And then after their final exam break, Appalachian State rolls into Columbia December 19th. Both of those games on Fox Sports South. Check your local listings. First half highlights after this. All right. Okay, surely. Okay. We know the score of the Georgia-Indiana game.
Indiana won by 13.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, wow.
Well, no, I mean, Kentucky and Florida, both top 10 teams.
Okay, perfect. South Carolina 44, Rider 37, halftime at Colonial Life Arena. Hope you're having a great start to your Thanksgiving week. Andy DiMaggio alongside Eddie Fogler. Of course, Thanksgiving week is, hello, good to see you.
Hi there. Somebody was putting a note in front of me.
Well, we always aim to give you the...
I won't tell it was Brian Burnett, but that's okay. Hey.
Always aim to give you the best insights right up to the last second. Thanksgiving week, this is where teams usually go cross country and play against some of the top competition. I know you were there as a head coach. What's Thanksgiving week like as a college basketball coach?
Well, it's a busy week because you're playing games, and typically Thanksgiving Day, you want to practice very early so your team can get a good Thanksgiving meal. But there's a lot of college basketball going on during Thanksgiving, whether you're at home like the Gamecocks are, though they're on their way to Mexico from here. But it's a busy time. There's very little downtime this time of year for coaches.
Ryder will be part of that tournament in Puerto Vallarta as well. Let's look at those SEC news and notes. Trevor Relaford named SEC Player of the Week. Kentucky took that loss to Duke, so now Florida, the highest-ranked SEC team, and Alex Poitras, the SEC Freshman of the Week. What a stat line he had against the Blue Devils.
Well, there's three very, very good basketball teams there in the Southeastern Conference. And, of course, Missouri. We saw Missouri was nationally ranked. Frank Haith now comes into the league with a really quick, fast-pressing basketball team. So SEC basketball is pretty darn good this year, and there will be multiple teams in the NCAA tournament at the conclusion of the season.
And now some scores from tonight. Georgia hung around with Indiana.
Yeah, it was pretty close for a half. Mississippi State, only 6 healthy scholarship players going to Maui, having to play North Carolina, who has 10 very good players. And St. Louis, very good. Rick Majerus, unfortunately, with the heart condition, probably done coaching. A great coach. Jim Cruz, a really good coach, taking over, playing Texas A&M. Now, that's in Kansas City, which is really almost a home crowd for St. Louis.
And here in Columbia, it's South Carolina. Led by 6 points, 5 rebounds from Lakeem Jackson, a 7-point lead over Ryder at half.
Sorry about that. I was interrupted by
All right.
What's that?
Okay. Wow, 13 fouls in the first half.
A lot of highlights there. Looks like that team's leading. Yeah.
South Carolina led by as many as 14. It's a 7-point lead at halftime. And your first half highlights.
Well, there's some awful good basketball played here by both teams. South Carolina there with the deflection, the nice bounce pass to the cutting Richardson there. And again, taking the charge defensively. They were active pretty much. Brian Richardson jumping the passing lane, not completing, but Lakeem Jackson never giving up on the play. And now versus the zone, particularly, and beating the press. We can see South Carolina making some nice plays. The open three there for Lachey Page. Open three for Brian Richardson. It's amazing what open threes do. They typically go in All these threes are from wide open shooters with their feet set. And interestingly enough, as we look at the stats, Andy, South Carolina took 16 threes in the first half. In their first 2 games, they were only averaging 13.5 threes per game. Already have taken more threes in this game than they have in either game that they've played so far. Good shooting by both teams. Turnovers hurting Rider, 11 turnovers. South Carolina very good, by the way, on the offensive board.
Rider coming out of the locker room, dogged by turnovers in a win on Saturday, hoping to overcome some turnovers and an upset here tonight. Second half ahead.
Period.
And to begin the second half, Frank Martin sending back in Lachey Page, but putting in Mindaugas Casinas for Lakeem Jackson, who has those 3 fouls. Dropped underneath for Tanat. He'll go up strong for a foul.
Like the patience of Rider. They don't panic. They don't force shots. One of the things that I look at when I go watch teams play, I was down in Charleston last week at watching some college games down there. The first thing I look at when I look at a team play is shot selection. Show me a team that takes bad shots, and I'll show you a loser for the most part. Rider College, very patient, working to get good shots. Tells me a lot about the coaching that's going on that bench.
It's easy when you see that style of offense, that dribble drive motion, and guys so relentlessly getting towards the basket. It seems like it's an offense that lends itself to bad shots or contested shots or turnovers, but it's a very potent offense if you play within yourself. Right,
and they do. They play within themselves, and they make the extra pass. It's unselfish, which is what it takes to be a successful offensive team.
Fortunato splits the free throws, but the one he made is first in 7 attempts this year, and it slices the Gamecock deficit to 6. Slauson to Williams, and he drains the 3. Brenton Williams, 40% from 3 in SEC play a year ago. He's got about as pure a form as the Gamecocks have.
Give credit to Slauson, though. He drives the baseline, he draws the help, and he kicks it cross court to the open Brenton Williams.
Oh, the tip-in jam. Stewart in traffic with bad intentions on the way down. Slauson the long triple. And a foul on the fight for the rebound. Slauson compounding the problem by picking up the personal. That jam by Stewart worth another look.
Well, coming in from right underneath, nobody really gets a body on him. Excellent timing, quick jumper.
Stewart had double-double, 18, 13 rebounds in their win Saturday over Monmouth. And one of the first things you hear about Daniel Stewart, the junior from Philly, a high flower. Flying into the basket is Jonathan Thompson. And all of a sudden, it's a 5-point deficit.
Rider deciding to go with the soft 3/4 court press versus the full court trapping press. Back to the zone. Actually, they're back man to man.
Williams looking for another one and give it to him. Brenton Williams to 14 points, and with 18 minutes to play, he's one shy of tying a career high. Again to the basket, Lindsey up and in.
And that's going to give Frank Martin a stroke over there. Way too easy.
Smith can't finish. Rider the rebound.
Foul trouble or not, you got to play defense. You got to guard the ball. You got to be in position to take charges.
Lindsey the crossover, and he gets a bump from Smith. Lindsey is one of those guys, once he gets going, he has the look of someone hard to stop. And he'll have a chance to slash into this deficit some more.
Well, that's way too easy on almost every possession here for the defense of the South Carolina Gamecocks. Rider just getting to the basket, follow dunks, high percentage shots. Almost looks like South Carolina's afraid to foul because they're in foul trouble.
Richardson will come in for Smith. Lindsey 26 points in his Rider debut. He was the MAC Player of the Week. Originally was to become eligible at the end of the semester, but had a hardship waiver acknowledged by the NCAA to allow him to play immediately. Had to settle for 1 of 2. Williams. Jackson can't handle. Casinas had that shot deflected. Richardson on the floor with Miles. The jump ball arrow points to the Gamecocks.
That was Slauson's 3rd foul here a little while ago. He's on the bench. It's going to be a delicate act for the Gamecock coaches to manage their foul trouble here. A lot of time left in this game. Riders attacking the basket.
You've got Smith on the bench, but you have R.J. Slauson in foul trouble as the jumper good by Page. Jackson has 3 fouls, and those are 2 really active players for Frank Martin.
I guess that 22% from 3 coming in. Coach Baggett's going, what's going on here today?
Miles pushes it up. No good with the left hand. Casinas the rebound. Even though this lead has felt tenuous most of the night, South Carolina a chance to stretch it to double digits.
Nice when you're knocking down threes. It really helps, doesn't it?
3 for 4 from 3 in the second half from beyond the arc. Page, tough shot, can't get it. Jackson grabs the miss. Page wants the 3, can't get it. Lindsey boards.
Well, McGagas is on the floor hustling for a loose ball, then he almost gets the offensive rebound. He's really working. There's too easy. Another driving basket.
Reverse layup by Thompson, give him 10.
It won't go away. It won't go away, Andy. He's hanging around. Two, 3 high spread, spacing the floor, trying to give opportunities to drive it.
Casinas off a pump, will put it in. It gives Mindaugas Casinas a season-high 10, the freshman from Lithuania. It calms the waters a bit. Gamecocks by 8. Another attack to the rack. Miles, no good on the finger roll.
Two, 3 high, Xing off the post. Cutters going off. Casinas, step out, backdoor cut.
But it was telegraphed by Casinas, and Thompson steals it. A 2-on-1. Easy does it to Lindsey. Nurideen Lindsey, the St. John's transfer, a team-high 12, and is back down to a 6-point lead.
Clock at 12. Let's see what the Gamecocks do to get a shot as the clock expires.
Richardson gets a step on Lindsey and 1. Ryan Richardson with the shot clock winding down, able to pour it in. The Rider tried to make a run. And Riders Jonathan Thompson, pretty ride to the basket. He can also dish in transition, but it's the Gamecocks by 8. Show me totals. There we go. Thank you. Hey, that'll work. It's an 8-point lead for Frank Martin and the Gamecocks. This is a Rider team that it might surprise some folks in Metro Atlantic this year. They lost their top 2 scorers from a team that finished 10-8 in the MAC, but only 13-19 overall. And new head coach Kevin Baggett. But with that style they run offensively, they can make it some long nights. This team on the short end of the 8-point margin. Richardson converts the 3-point play.
Nice big hoop, clock running down. Richardson's not typically the guy to go drive the basketball. No weak side help, easy basket.
Sadler hangs over Slauson and finishes. Zendrick Sadler, the true freshman from Detroit, Michigan.
Another problem here for South Carolina, Andy, when the ball is driven to the basket, there's no shot blocking out on the court. Real shot blockers. That's huge for a defense to have people who can bother shots around the basket.
The Gamecocks have had that shot blocking presence the last couple of years.
Sam Muldrow, DeMontre Harris, they've had great shot blocking around the rim.
Williams, a step, a slip to Jackson. Scored. Ball was deflected on the way down, but it went through the cylinder. As the Gamecocks started to find their way to the rim.
Brenton Williams driving to the hole. Nice pass off there to Jackson, who completes. Brenton Williams is getting better and better and better. He's going to really flourish under Frank Martin. And way too easy. Another drive to the basket. Gamecock coaches are shaking their heads over there in disbelief. Might be the zone coming here before too long.
I was going to say, do you go zone? Do you flatten out on those ball handlers?
I'd probably go some zone. Riders just switch to the zone, trying to keep the ball outside, although South Carolina's shooting the 3 very well.
Williams, the teardrop, and it's short. Gamecocks win another tip. They have offensive rebounded very well this early season.
15 per game coming in, and already 8 here tonight.
Great drop down to Jackson for the jam. Slauson fed him.
Well, high-low, anytime the ball goes to the high post, you got to pressure that pass if you're in any kind of defense. That's too easy of a look for the high post passer.
Williams, watch out. Right into our broadcast possession. Meanwhile, on the other end, foul called. Boy, that was right.
I'm good.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm good. My glasses took a beat. Yeah, I'm good.
Oh, they did. You want to replay it? And that is going right to, I liked how you had the hands in the ready position.
There you go. Short charge.
Still got that toughness.
I'm good.
Telling you what. Pereira off the inbound. Rims off. Page on the run out. He's got Casinas with him. Alley's it up for him and a foul.
How about Brenton Williams? He comes flying over here, gets right back up here, and I'm thinking, where's he going? He's back in the play.
Yeah.
Here's Page. Nice lob up. To me, that's not the best lob up to a guy who plays below the rim. They got one worked out.
And Daugus Casinas, double-digit ninth, but the free throw short. Did a good job to cushion that landing for Brent. Gonna have to go to the eye center, though.
Yep, fix my glasses. I think I'm good.
Excellent. You ever have that happen when you were coaching, guys kind of crashing for a loose ball?
Oh, no, I just got a text from my daughter. She goes, "You okay? Broken nose, missing teeth? Question mark."
That's okay to text her.
I'll just say on the air, I'm okay.
Yeah. Williams bidding for a 5th triple. Halfway down, Casinas the rebound, but he can't convert the stick back. Williams the foul on Lindsey. Williams is 3rd.
It's Coach Martin screaming across the court, quit reaching, move your feet, quit reaching.
Lindsey will pop the three. Over Casinas. 15 for Lindsey, and he's refusing to let the Bronx go down quietly.
And every time it gets to double digits, the Bronx answer.
Page for the three, and the answer. You know, Ryder was only allowing 19% three-point shooting in their 3 games this year. The Gamecocks have gone out and popped 10 threes on him in 23 attempts.
Versus a team that was shooting 22% from 3 coming in.
Do all that scouting, playing the numbers, and then a game like this happens. Stewart the rebound. Here's to Sadler. Lindsey launches a long 3. Fortunate grabs. And they'll call him for the elbow on Jackson. Offensive foul. For Fortunate, that's his 3rd. South Carolina will have the ball and a 10-point lead when we come back.
Sure. Okay. Nobody can block a shot. They just don't have shot blockers. That's way too easy there, though. Okay. What's that? Yeah, taking the ball to the basket. Yeah. Packing the lane, taking the ball to the basket. That works.
The Gamecocks by 10. 11 minutes to play in the second half. Washington has been in attack mode at the rim all night.
Well, you attack the basket anytime you can off the dribble. And the thing that really hurts South Carolina, again, we mentioned before, Andy, there's no real shot blocking on this team. It's a small team. So Ryder's doing a smart thing. That's way too easy. Shot blocking has nothing to do with a dead layup. But against the set defense, if you drive it for South Carolina, they've got to get in position to draw charges because they're not going to block shots.
16 of Ryder's 19 points in the second half have been in the paint, but despite that, a halftime lead has actually grown for Carolina.
Well, 1 shot block so far for the Gamecocks here tonight against a team that's not a very big team.
Game part of the Hoops for Hope Classic, which continues in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico after Thanksgiving. Casinas, tough finish.
And it shows you the skill, not the most overly athletic guy, but good pump fake, good skill. He's having a heck of a game here tonight, playing his tail off.
13 points. Filled that void with R.J. Slauson bothered by fouls. Thompson crosses by Williams and another finish at the rim.
Casinas there, nothing he can do, though, not athletic enough to block it.
Kevin Baggett told me at shoot-around he's about an 80% man coach. Williams score it and the foul as he attacked that zone, which we've seen much more of from the Bronx. That gives Williams a career-high 16.
Well, that's not a very easy shot. That floater along the baseline versus zone, the ability to pull up and just loft it over. the Rider defender, Daniel Stewart. Now this will make it 13, Andy. This is the biggest lead the Gamecocks have had in quite some time. This is a crucial part of the game here now for Rider University. See if they can make another run. South Carolina now back to the zone.
Miles, the up and under. With some points for style over Page. Right now, South Carolina, the double-digit lead as Richardson cranks the three. They're leading by double figures despite Rider shooting 50% from the floor.
Well, the three-point shooting has been incredible for the Gamecocks here. Also taking better care of the basketball.
In this second half, South Carolina, would you believe, has no turnovers after 11 in the first half. What's been the key to that?
Well, I would say coaching for number one in terms of since the Morgan State game. It's pretty obvious they've been error prone. My guess in practice, it hasn't been a whole lot of fun if you turned it over. So surely emphasizing it as part of it, and then give the kids credit for executing. And this is a scrappy Rider team here, and just as you jinxed them and I talked about.
Bingo. Competent turnover right back. Jackson makes up for it. Flips it up and in. Well, if you're going to be the guy who commits the first turnover, you might as well redeem yourself. 13-point Gamecock lead.
Now, even in the zone, you got to guard the ball. That's too easy there. Nice high post feed.
Frank Martin directing the traffic there from the Gamecock sideline.
That's a bad shot right there.
Miles pays for it with a defensive rebound.
I don't know what Page is thinking on that shot. Frank doesn't know either over there, going to get a glass of water.
And another easy drive to the basket, this time from Lindsey. I have a sense on-ball defense might be part of the practice session tomorrow.
Coach Martin just asked Page, quote, "Why'd you shoot that ball?" unquote.
Great minds think alike.
Well, I mean, bad shots don't go in. You can't win taking bad shots. As a coach, I'd rather have a 35-second shot clock violation.
Now he makes up for it with the three.
Well, it's feeder set, nice little handoff there. Got a good look at the basket. I mean, it's not rocket science here now. Open shots go in much more often than contested shots.
LaShae Page, 2 early fouls in this game, limited him to 4 minutes in the first half, but he's exploded for 9 second-half points. Now South Carolina matching its largest lead. They've switched to the zone. Lindsey navigating that baseline. I told you Lindsey's nickname in high school was Too Easy, and he's making it look just that. Would you say Rider's offensive execution has been better than Carolina's tonight?
Well, I'm not sure about that. I would say both teams' defense hasn't been very good, quite honestly, guarding the ball.
Travel on Page. And Frank Martin, not a happy camper.
There's the poor defense by Adakis along the baseline. You can see the easy drive and the easy hoop.
That's got to be a career high. That's got to be a career high. Yeah, career high. Yep. We're looking at who's got career highs in assists right now. For South Carolina, a bunch of individuals, I think, do. Let's take a look at our game summary. 6:26 in the second half. Gamecocks by a dozen. Lindsey trying to keep this at an arm's length. 12 points for the Rider junior. Gamecocks distributing the ball well.
Yeah, both teams are making nice plays, Andy. The offense has been much better than the defense by both these basketball teams. Again, I don't want to be repetitive here, but neither team has shot blocking above the rim. So once the ball gets into the 3-second lane near the basket, whether it's driven in there, passed in there, or offensive rebound there, they're scoring. Neither team can stop each other around the basket.
Lindsey, the hop step, and then the extra step.
And Coach Baggett pointing to all the open guys on the perimeter. Anytime you drive the ball into the 3-second lane, the weak side pitch is almost always open for a wide open jumper.
Lindsey has been turnover prone this year. He committed 6 turnovers in their win over Monday. Rider 28 turnovers in that Monmouth win. Got 16 right now and staring at a 12-point deficit. Shot clock at 5. Casinas, 3 seconds. Page, Williams to beat the shot clock, and he nails the 3.
Now, wouldn't you rather have that, even if it doesn't go in, than a forced jumper earlier in the possession? I'd much rather have that shot.
Brenton Williams came in with the career high of 15. The junior has 20. Sadler off the skip, can't answer. Days boarded for Carolina.
Excuse me, nice box out by Casinas there. He's one tired puppy, but he continues to work at it. Patience to get the shot you want here. Time and score in favor of South Carolina. No need to force anything. Wide open shots or drives to the basket.
Casinas the spin around Stewart. And Douglas Casinas a career high 15. He's got some craftiness to his game.
Yeah, he knows how to play. Smart. He's got nice skills. Yeah, crafty, I agree. Not the most athletic, but really knows how to play.
Foul on the Gamecocks, Page.
That's his third. 16.
Shea Page's third, though. Picked up those 2 fouls in the opening minutes of the first half.
Well, the shot clock running down. I'd rather have a 35-second shot clock violation as a coach than a bad one. But there's the nice penetration. You can see just about 0 on the shot clock, and Page makes a nice pass over to Williams.
Just kind of carried the Rider offense in the second half.
Look here for Rider to start pressing more full court. They can't stay in the zone. Have to come back man to man. Only 14 fouls for Rider. At some point, they're going to have to put South Carolina, who's an excellent free throw shooting team, on the foul line and hope they start missing.
First time we've seen Eric Smith in a while for the Gamecocks, their junior point guard. Rider out of that zone.
5 up here. High post ball screen. Flat ball screen. Hard to guard. Move it.
Now Casinas with the ball. Fake. And the stroke of the 3.
He had the open Smith in the corner. He faked it. The defender jumped the passing lane. He just pulled the ball back. Flat ball screen and roll out the screen are hard to guard.
And Douglas Casinas had 10 points all season. The freshman 18. Fortunat can't finish over Casinas on the hook.
Nice defense by Casinas as well. Goes straight up, doesn't foul. No need to rush anything here for South Carolina.
Oh, the steal. Great pass over the shoulder to Lindsey, but Williams behind the play got the strip and the deflection off Lindsey. Gamecocks basketball. It has been Brent Williams' offense that has paced the Gamecocks a career-high 20 in South Carolina. 3 minutes and change from a 3-0 start. Okay, good. I do not know that. Gamecocks, they got some, giving the fans some reasons to celebrate tonight. 84-66 over Rider. We told you Rider University from Lawrenceville, New Jersey. They are a cradle of coaches. Digger Phelps, former head basketball and golf coach at Rider, also played golf at Rider. Jason Thompson, 12th overall pick in the 2008 draft. He's continuing his professional career with Claire B.
Well, I got to talk about Claire B here as a 64-year-old ex-coach. That gentleman right there is maybe one of the great coaches ever and a godfather of the development of college, of basketball, the game of basketball. Incredible, famous great coach.
He was credited with inventing the shot clock in college basketball and also the 3-second rule. Selfishly, we were hoping for a 3-second violation because it would have been a perfect tie-in. Also is famous for his coaching career at Long Island University and those great teams. Jackson puts it through. He was Rider's first ever basketball coach.
That I didn't know. But I remember growing up hearing so many great things about the great coach Claire B.
Long three in the corner from Miles. B coached Rider when they weren't known as the Bronx. They were originally known as the Rider Rough Riders. But evidently the newspaper writers, they kept running out of space in their headlines for Rough Riders, so they began nicknaming them the Bronx. And just kind of stuck. Steal by the Bronx. Lindsey with a cheap foul from Smith, one he shouldn't have committed. Lindsey a chance for a three-point play.
I would tell you Eric Smith's coming out after that turnover.
Point Rider deficit. Glasses all right? They were in the line of fire earlier this half when Brent Williams went chasing after a loose ball and right into your immediate vicinity. Gamecocks play Elon 2 days from now. And off along with Rider to the Hoops for Hope Classic in Puerto Vallarta. SMU, Arkansas Little Rock, also part of that field as Casinas gets whistled for the travel. Well, sometimes we're just describing the action. Sometimes we are the action.
Whoops.
You know what, though? You held the ground. That would have been an offensive foul on Brent. You took the charge.
It was close. Give Ryder credit here. Still fighting hard. Another turnover. Have not quit. Credit to, it's now 12. And the game is over. But this is going to be a good team this year. They're going to do well in their conference. Give Kevin Baggett and his coaching staff a lot of credit.
Another ball thrown away. Baggett, his first year as head coach, trying to lead the Bronx to the NCAA tournament. Haven't been there since 1994. He's got a dandy in Lindsey. He's tied his career high with 26. Miles through contact. Makes it a 10-point game. 1 minute to play. 10-2 Ryder run. Perhaps too little, too late. Gamecocks will move to 3-0.
Played pretty well offensively. Took care of the ball very well early in the second half. Then got complacent.
Williams on the drive, and he adds to his career high with 22. Certainly, the defense is not where Frank Martin wants it to be just yet.
No, not at all. But again, without the shot blocking, I can't emphasize enough what shot blocking means defensively, but certainly got to get better guarding the basketball.
Shot clock is dark. The Gamecocks will let this one bleed out. 88 points in a win on Sunday for Frank Martin. I beg your pardon, Friday, but he follows it up with 88 points in a win on Monday. Gamecocks a 12-point winner over the Ryder Bronx tonight. Columbia will wrap things up after this.